Pranking each other at the beach. An afternoon at the beach, Gru lies stretched out on the sand. Agnes sits nearby, focused on building a sandcastle. Two minions stand a short distance away, look at Gru, then at the sand, grin mischievously. The first minion secretly scoops sand, gently piles it onto Gru's legs. Gru doesn't react. The second minion adds more, building it higher. Gru still lies still. The minions look at each other, start piling faster. Sand covers half of Gru's body. Agnes looks up, sees the scene, covers her mouth and laughs. The minions completely cover Gru, only his head is left exposed. They step back, arrow right, admire their masterpiece. Arrow right. A big wave rushes in. Seawater washes the sand away. Gru slowly sits up, covered in sand. The minions freeze. Gru turns his head. The minions step back, laugh awkwardly. Gru grabs a sand shovel, scoops up a big load. Throws it back at the minions. The minions fall backward into the sand.
The dog out of control. An afternoon at the park. A wide, quiet pathway. Gru holds the dog leash, standing firm. The minions walk behind. Agnes walks ahead, holding a small ball. Agnes accidentally drops the ball. The ball rolls away. The dog looks at the ball, then runs after it. The leash pulls tight. Gru is dragged forward. The minions help pull, their feet wobbling. The whole group gets dragged in a line. Unable to keep up, the ball rolls around a stone bench. The dog changes direction to follow. Gru squeezes through the minions, behind bump into each other. The ball slows down. The dog slows too. The ball stops. The dog stops immediately. The whole group, hurt by momentum, piles up and falls over. Agnes runs over, picks up the ball. The dog sits down, wagging its tail around Agnes. Gru and the minions lie on the ground, look at each other and burst out laughing.
Out of control balloons. The whole group is playing ball in the backyard. Bob misses a kick, and the ball rolls toward the fence. Agnes runs after it. As she bends down to pick up the ball, she notices a bunch of balloons tied nearby. Curious, Agnes grabs the balloon string and gives it a tug. A gust of wind blows in, yanking the balloons hard and making Agnes stumble. She holds on tightly, then she's lifted completely off the ground, her feet kicking in the air. Gru turns around, startled, and runs toward her. He reaches for Agnes's legs but slips. Agnes rises higher, drifting away from the yard. Gru runs underneath, jumps again, and manages to grab Agnes's legs. He's dragged a few steps across the grass. The minions rush in to hold on to Gru, forming a line to pull him back. The balloons shake violently. Dr. Nefario runs over and quickly ties the string to a large rock. The balloons slowly descend. Agnes gently touches the ground. The wind calms. Agnes looks at everyone and smiles.
The toy car goes out of control an afternoon in the garden. Agnes sits in the toy car. Minion stands nearby, holding the remote control. The minion presses a button gently. The car moves slowly. Agnes is delighted. The minion gets curious, presses another button. The car suddenly speeds up. The car races around the garden, wheels skidding fast. Agnes is startled, grips the steering wheel tightly. The minion panics, presses buttons randomly. The car goes faster and faster. Gru runs out from the house, sees Agnes on the car. Gru runs alongside the car, arms outstretched. Gru lifts Agnes up, pulls her off the car safely. Agnes hugged Gru, lets out a sigh of relief. The car keeps going, with no one driving. Car heads straight toward tree. Bump! The car lightly hits the tree. Stop completely. The minion stands frozen, staring at the car. Gru crosses his arms and turns to stare at the minion, stares intensely. The minion raises the remote, scratches his head, and gives an awkward smile.
Edith stuck in the trash bin. Edith walks slowly at the back of the group. Her eyes dart left and right, full of mischief. She stops in front of a large trash bin. She glances around, making sure no one is watching. She climbs in. The lid immediately snaps shut. Agnes stops. She doesn't see Edith. The minions scatter, searching, looking behind benches, looking under trees. No one is there. From afar, a garbage truck appears, moving slowly, getting closer. Gru sees the truck. His eyes shift to the trash bin on the curb. He freezes. Gru runs over. The minions chase behind. Dr. Nefario steps forward, opens the control panel at the back of the truck. The lifting lever starts to operate. The lid flips open. Edith slides out. The minions stretch their arms to catch her. Edith lands safely on the ground. The minions collapse onto the ground, exhausted.
Agnes drops the cake. Agnes carefully carries a large cake, the white frosting wobbling slightly. She beams with excitement, her eyes sparkling. Kevin is wiping the table. Stuart sits on a chair eating a banana. Bob lies on the floor hugging his stuffed bear. And Poppy stands near the kitchen, eyes following every movement. Agnes takes a few more steps and slips. The cake spins slowly in the air. Rue reaches for it and misses. Kevin jumps, but still can't catch it. Stuart slides across the floor. Bob lunges and trips over Kevin, flipping over. Poppy manages to pull Bob out of the way and reaches for the cake herself. Then, bam! The cake lands right on Kevin's face. Frosting splatters everywhere. Stuart and Bob crash at Kevin, and now all three minions are covered head to toe in frosting. Poppy stands by in time, though a few streaks of frosting are stuck in her hair. Rescuing a minion stuck on a playground slide. An afternoon at the park. A minion climbs up the slide, sits down, ready to slide. The minion pushes off, slides down a short distance, stuck in the middle of the slide. The minion wiggles, can't slide further, can't climb back up. The minion waves for help. Other minions look up. Panic one minion climbs up from the top, gives a gentle push, doesn't budge. Another minion pushes from below. The slide shakes slightly. Still stuck, the whole group stands there, confused. The scientist walks over, holding a bottle of soap. He pours soap onto the slide. Soap flows down. The slide becomes shiny and slippery. The minions start sliding faster and faster. Whoosh! Thump! The minion crashes straight into the group below. The whole group piles up on top of each other, burst out laughing. Minion cooks breakfast morning in the kitchen. A minion wearing a chef's hat stands in front of the stove, very confident. The minion turns on the stove, places a pot on top. The minion pours ingredients into the pot, stirs evenly. Other minions stand around, watching closely. One minion sprinkles seasoning, just a little. Another minion adds more, much more. A third minion pours in the entire bottle of seasoning. The chef minion freezes. The pot boils over the lid, flies off. Bang! The lid hits the floor. Smoke rises. The kitchen becomes messy, splattered, blackened. The minion stands still, faces covered in seasoning. Poppy walks into the kitchen, stops, looks at the scene in front of her. A moment of silence. Poppy lets out a soft breath, rolls up her sleeves. Poppy grabs another pan, adds fresh ingredients. Poppy cooks neatly, quickly. The minions stand around, watching. A delicious smell fills the air. Poppy plates the new dish, clean and tasty. The minions look at the food. Eyes light up. Poppy smiles, hands on her hips. Poppy spots danger. On a warm, sunny afternoon in the garden, Agnes sat on the grass, carefully stacking her colorful building blocks. Stuart and Bob were playfully tossing a banana back and forth. Poppy stood a little ways off, watering the plants while keeping an eye on the whole yard, humming softly as she worked. Suddenly, Poppy noticed a box precariously placed up high. She tilted her head, eyes wide, watching. A gentle breeze blew, and the box wobbled. Panicked, Poppy waved to warn everyone. The box began to slide down. Stuart and Bob shouted, collided, and tumbled on the grass. Agnes froze, clutching her toys. Poppy rushed over and pulled Agnes back just in time. Crash! The box hit the ground, luckily missing everyone. The group let out a sigh of relief, still wide-eyed from the shock.
The great cleanup battle. Gru's house is neat and quiet. Gru steps outside and closes the door. Inside, three minions look at each other and grin mischievously. One minion opens the flower cabinet. Poof! Flour explodes, covering the house in white. Another minion pours paint onto the floor, slips and falls, leaving a long, colorful streak. The third minion eats bananas and throws the peels everywhere. Fast cuts, comedic rhythm. The house slowly turns into a battlefield. The door opens. Gru freezes. The camera pans across the chaos. Flour, paint, bananas, wrecked furniture. Gru crosses his arms, frowns, and taps his foot. He points at the floor. Clean up. A minion grabs a mop and slips and falls, dragging a bucket of water along. Another minion vacuums and accidentally sucks up a banana. A minion wipes the window. The more he wipes, the blurrier it gets. The more they clean, the messier it becomes. Gru sighs and picks up a broom to demonstrate. The minions watch, then seriously copy him. The house gradually becomes clean again.
Minions told the scientist. An afternoon in the laboratory. The scientist stands in front of a large machine he has just invented, looking very proud. Two minions sneak behind him, staring at the buttons. First minion peels off the start and stop button. Labels, second minion. Sticks the labels back on, but swap them. The minions look at each other, grin mischievously, then tiptoe away. The scientist turns back, looks at the control panel. He reads labels, nods, presses the start button. A brief silence. The machine shakes violently. Vroom! Paper bursts out all over the room. Paper flies everywhere, covering the scientist's face. Panicking, he presses stop. The paper shoots out even harder. Paper piles up to knee height. Gru walks into the room and takes in the scene. Gru rushes over and switches off the power. The scientist emerges from the pile of paper. Glass is crooked. The two minions hide behind the machine, covering their mouths and laughing.
An afternoon by the lake. The lake is calm, a light breeze blowing. The whole group is fishing along the shore. Gru sits on a chair. The minions stand behind. Peeking around curiously, the bobber twitches. Gru stares intently. The bobber sinks. Gru jerks the rod up. Nothing. Gru exhales. A minion gets impatient, pulls the rod to help Gru. The rod shakes violently. The minions crowd in to pull everyone's strains together. The rod bends to its limit. Everyone is tense. Whip, pulling up. An old boot. Dripping water. The whole group freezes. Agnes tilts her head, looks at the boot. One minion laughs first. The whole group bursts out laughing. Gru looks at the boot, sighs just then. The nearby bobber jerks hard. Agnes bends down, gently lifts the rod. A small fish jumps out of the water. Agnes beams. The minions gape. The fish flops wildly, falls back into the lake. Agnes looks surprised. The minions laugh uncontrollably.
Banana Tower Building Contest. An afternoon in the backyard. Agnes and Edith stand on one side. Two minions stand opposite them. Agnes plus Edith on one team. Two minions on the other team. In front of each team is a pile of bananas. The contest begins. Team Agnes. Edith. Agnes stacks the bananas very carefully. The tower is slightly crooked, but still standing. Team Minions. The two minions stack very quickly. The banana pile grows tall. Both towers rise higher and higher. Edith sneaks over, gently pulls out one banana. The minion's tower tilts slightly. The two minions panic and fix it. One minion looks over. Right arrow spots. Edith. Right arrow. Smirks. Slyly, right arrow. The minion sneaks back and pulls one banana from Agnes's team. Right arrow. Crash, right arrow. Both towers collapse at the same time. Bananas roll all over the yard. The whole group sits on the ground in the yard, eating bananas, laughing happily. Forming a DIY band an afternoon in the backyard. Poppy sits and drinks some water. Agnes sits nearby playing with toys. One minion flips a pot upside down, uses a spoon to tap it. Clang! The minion jumps and tries right arrow, taps again. Clang! Clang! Another minion runs over right, grabs a cardboard box, slaps the box with his hands, thump thump. Agnes gets curious, picks up an empty plastic bottle, shakes it, rattle rattle. The group looks at each other. They start playing a band. Everyone has different rhythms. Poppy stands up, claps along to the beat. One minion keeps drumming, gets more and more excited. Drumming while dancing. Clang! Clang! Dance is too hard. The spoon slips out of his hand. Push! The spoon hits another minion on the head. Then everyone bursts out laughing. A light flight, an afternoon at the park. A minion holds an umbrella, looks at the sky, strolling happily. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind. The umbrella flips inside out. The minion is lifted off the ground. Feet dangling, the minion flies low. Hands gripping the umbrella handle tightly. Other minions turn around, panic. The whole group rushes over. Grab the minion's legs. The minion gets pulled downward, but the wind still holds on. Gru runs over, adds his strength from below. The whole group forms a chain, pulling the minion down. A tense moment. The wind weakens, the umbrella collapses. The minion hops gently onto the grass. Thump! Everyone falls into a pile. The minion sits up, rubbing his head. The other minions sigh in relief. A moment later, another breeze passes by. The umbrella lifts slightly again. The minion panics and immediately lets go of the umbrella, letting the wind carry it away.
Planting trees in the garden. Morning. In the garden, Poppy holds a small shovel, digs a nicely sized hole. Agnes holds a young sapling, gently places it into the hole. Poppy fills the soil neatly, pats it down lightly. Agnes waters it just enough. The plant stands upright. Nearby, a group of minions also starts planting. One minion digs a hole too deep. Another drops the plant straight in. A third minion dumps soil in all at once. Dirt splashes everywhere. The minion's plant starts wobbling. The minions hold the plant together. It stands for a moment. A brief silence. The plant collapses with a thud. Poppy and Agnes turn back. Look at their plant, still standing strong. Then they look at the minion's plant. Agnes covers her mouth, smiling. Poppy shakes her head, smiling.
Rescuing a minion stuck to a magnet. The whole group walks along casually. One minion walks ahead, suddenly stops, looks down at the ground. A large magnet lies by roadside. The minion bends down, picks it up, turns it around curiously. The magnet pulls in small metal pieces from the road. The minion is delighted. The minion keeps walking while playing with it. Brings the magnet close to everything. They pass by a metal pole along the street. Clap! The magnet snaps tightly on the pole. The minion pulls his hand back. It won't come off. Two other minions rush over, try to pull him away. The more they pull, the more he sticks. The minion is dragged in, hugging the pole tightly, feet dangling in the air. The whole group gathers around in a panic. Seeing this, Gru runs off to find another magnet. Flips the polarity. Gru brings the magnet closer. Clap! The minion pops free from the pole. The minion falls and sits on the road, eyes spinning. Gru exhales in relief. The whole group bursts out laughing. Edith stuck in the trash bin. Edith walks slowly at the back of the group. Her eyes dart left and right, full of mischief. She stops in front of a large trash bin. She glances around, making sure no one's watching. She climbs in. The lid immediately snaps shut. Agnes stops. She doesn't see Edith. The minions scatter, searching, looking behind benches, looking under trees. No one is there. From afar, a garbage truck appears, moving slowly, getting closer. Gru sees the truck. His eyes shift to the trash bin on the curb. He freezes. Gru runs over. The minions chase behind. Dr. Nefario steps forward, opens the control panel at the back of the truck. The lifting lever starts to operate. The lid flips open. Edith slides out. The minions stretch their arms to catch her. Edith lands safely on the ground. The minions collapse onto the ground, exhausted. The great cleanup battle. Gru's house is neat and quiet. Gru steps outside and closes the door. Inside, three minions look at each other and grin mischievously. One minion opens the flower cabinet. Poof! Flour explodes, covering the house in white. Another minion pours paint onto the floor, slips and falls, leaving a long, colorful streak. The third minion eats bananas and throws the peels everywhere. Fast cuts, comedic rhythm. The house slowly turns into a battlefield. The door opens. Gru freezes. The camera pans across the chaos. Flour, paint, bananas, wrecked furniture. Gru crosses arms, frowns, and taps his foot. He points at the floor. Clean up! A minion grabs a mop and slips and falls, dragging a bucket of water along. Another minion vacuums and accidentally sucks up a banana. A minion wipes the window. The more he wipes, the blurrier it gets. The more they clean, the messier it becomes. Gru sighs and picks up a broom to demonstrate. The minions watch, then seriously copy him. The house gradually becomes clean again. Translation: Rescuing minion stuck in a water pipe. A large water pipe lies next to the wall. A curious minion bends down to peek into the pipe. Looks around. No one is paying attention. The minion sticks his head in first. Then his whole body slides in. The minion gets stuck in the middle of the pipe. Legs wildly, arms flail. Another minion hears the noise and looks inside. Only 2 round eyes spinning inside the pipe. More minions come running. 2 minions pull the legs. 1 minion pushes from the other side, not moving at all. 1 minion gets an idea, runs off and comes back with a bottle of soap. Pours a huge amount of soap into the pipe. The minions line up behind the pipe and take a deep breath. Push together! Whoosh! The soap minion shoots out the pipe like a rocket. The minion lands straight into a bucket of water. Wearing the bucket on his head, Dizzy Butt gives a thumbs up.
Okay.
The other minions clap and dance happily.